Hey there, welcome to day 1303 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business, and a little bit of back and forth again. Today, I am proof that colds still exist in this day and age of COVID-19. Guess what? We still get colds, we still get the flu, we still get all the things we used to get. Nobody's counting them, and people are acting as if we don't get them, but we absolutely positively do. Got a cold from my granddaughter. Love kids. Kids today are still the biggest carriers of and transmitters of colds and flus and bugs and viruses because they're around lots of other kids. And it's summer and she hasn't been around lots of other kids. I guess she's in summer school for a couple weeks, so who knows. Anyway, she got a cold last time she went to summer school, and I didn't catch that one earlier this summer. And then she caught a cold right after summer school this second batch. So colds are still going to be there, people. We're kidding ourselves if we think that just because there's COVID and all this nonsense and information about a pandemic doesn't mean some of the things that used to bother us don't still exist. They certainly do. So speaking of colds, at your wit's end. Have you ever been at your wit's end? Have you ever been so perplexed, so puzzled, so overwhelmed that you felt like you didn't know what to do? Well, that's what our idiom for Supersize Your Business was about today. And we talked about, as part of that, the process of problem solving and then decision making and some skills that we can cultivate to help us to problem solve and decide and deal with situations so that we always know what to do. Now, the truth is, we always know what to do. We just often won't let ourselves see or decide what we need to do because we're afraid. It's outside our comfort zone. We aren't uncertain about what the absolute fallout or the consequences are going to be of a decision or a choice or a problem that we solve. So we find ways to procrastinate and act as if we don't know what to do. And one of the best ways to do that is to say, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, and throw our hands up and act as if we don't know what to do, even though for a lot of the time we actually do know what to do. I think of times in my life when I've done that, when I've just put up with something that wasn't exactly right for me because I believed that changing the unknown could be worse than actually making a choice and a decision and doing something different and going down a different road. It's kind of embarrassing to admit that, but we all do that. But even I can think of, lots of situations where I did that, where I just went with the flow of something mainly because it wasn't a high enough priority to me in my life at that time to do something about it, to change it or speak up. And then when the situation becomes more painful or a big enough challenge or problem, then we act and we do something about it. But we pretty much always know what's in our best interest. If we just ask ourselves and are willing to listen to the answer, we'll always get answers. How do I deal with this relationship? How do I deal with this problem at work? How do I deal with this? And then if we sleep on it, the answers come. We just might not be comfortable with all of the answers, even though it's the right thing to do. Sometimes it feels uncomfortable. So today for the Get Up and Go Challenge, day 24 of our free 30+ day challenge for the month of August. It's called the Get Up and Go Challenge. It's the 8th time we've actually done this challenge. 30 days or more. Once was 45 days. 45 days plus we did the challenge in, I want to say June to mid-July last year, so in 2020, not this last June and July, but a year ago, we did 45 plus day one. Because a bunch of entrepreneurs said, hey, could you do a 45-day challenge? I'm like, hey, I bet I can. If I can do 30 days, I can probably do 45. And it was, no-brainer. So today we talked about applying the SOAP framework, our SOAP framework, to our mental aspect of our being. Remember, we've got 9 areas and aspects of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, and then I added communication and confidence in April of this year to areas that I'm working on and I'm helping other people work on because they're foundational areas for our success in anything. I work with a lot of business owners, so success in business, but also success in life, because our businesses are only ever going to be as successful and able to grow as we are, or as we're willing to step aside with our egos and hire people that are in a position to lead the organizations that we're trying to create. So, mental aspects of SOAP. And the tool we used today was something I call affirmations cubed, or affirmations on steroids. I don't have a name for it. Affirmations, I've heard affirmations. Affirmations was a strategy about affirmations that I learned, I don't know, decade or so ago. And now I added a third component to it. So, and I don't even remember where I learned it, but it was a powerful way to ask questions about and form our affirmations in 3 ways instead of just 1 way. Usually affirmations are I am statements, or I have, or this is the way my life is now type things. They're personal, present tense, and positive, of course. And they're I am fit, trim, energized, and active. I unconditionally love myself right now. Things like that. They're positive statements that we say to ourselves over and over again. But I've been playing with this year the 3 versions of an affirmation. So I unconditionally love myself right now. Why is it so easy for me to unconditionally love myself right now? And then how can I unconditionally love myself even more, or how can I unconditionally love myself right now? So it's the affirmation itself, then a why version of it, and then a how version of it. Why? Because why and how get around our subconscious and our mind of saying and arguing with our affirmations. If I say, I am a billionaire, my brain is automatically going to say, well, you certainly are not a billionaire. What the heck are you talking about? And my self-talk will start arguing with the affirmation I'm trying to make. But if I say, why is it so easy for me to be a billionaire right now? My brain starts thinking, well, of reasons why it is, because our subconscious always tries to answer the questions that we ask it. That's why we think in questions. Or if I say, how can I be a billionaire right now? How can I easily and effortlessly be a billionaire right now? Now I've got 2 questions that my brain is trying to answer, and it's giving me ideas and feeding me ways to make that a possibility right now, to make that be true right now. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. It was really tough to explain it in 10 minutes for the challenge today, and I forgot to break it down as the S, the O, the A, and the P, giving and using affirmation as the tool. I'm not sure I could have gotten that done in 10 minutes, and if there's questions, I will make a longer video and I'll do a live call and I'll answer questions, and we'll go through it. Step the S, the O, the A, the P. How can you use affirmations to help you with each of those? Because I mapped it out, I just didn't get enough time to talk about it. Because 10 minutes is short when you're talking about certain topics, especially when you're doing a demonstration of the SOAP framework through a whole area or aspect of our life. Because our mental well-being, our mindset could be negative thinking that we want to get rid of. It could be negative self-talk. It could be closed-minded and we want to be open-minded. It could be the things we want to tell ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves, the questions we ask ourselves. We want to go from doubtful to belief, etc. And so to explain all that in 10 minutes, I found it a challenge, which is the whole point of the challenge, right? So at your wits' end, problem solving, decision making, mental SOAP, affirmations, and how you can use them to help you clean up your mind's act using the SOAP framework. And our annual challenge today was about, it was one of those centering ones again. We've done about 5 or 6 of these, I think, where it's actually a target and it challenges us to, this one was music that centers me more, that centers me a bit more, even more, and then completely. And I put, I already started it, but I didn't put every layer. But in the middle, I put sounds of nature, sounds of like water and waves and wind blowing, or even thunder. I like thunderstorms and lightning storms. We're actually having one this morning, so maybe it's done. I haven't been paying attention, but we want to share music that centers us. And this is, we've done other targets like this. I think we did people, food, literature, art, smells that center me, and I'm sure in the book that means there'll be a few more. Today I actually noticed that I went back when I saw this target and I'm like, geez, we've done this a lot before. And then I started to realize as they're putting these journals and books together, there's a few things that they do repeatedly. I don't know if there's a pattern to number of days or what, but I understand why they do it. Like they do unplug a lot. They do stop and smell the roses. That's another one. There's stop and smell the roses. That one's been in here probably half a dozen times. And you know, that's when I noticed the patterns. Then like the thank you notes, or they write a note to somebody one. So actually, what seems like 365 days, they've actually made it simpler by adding their own framework to how they present the journaling materials. So something to pay attention to. Watch what people actually do not just what they say, because they're showing us what's working for them by what they do, not necessarily by what they say. So music that centers me. Again, used to love music. I used to have thousands and thousands of albums. Remember back when albums were a thing? And 8-track tapes. I had 8-track tapes and I had cassette tapes back in the day. So trying to think, I probably still have cassettes in my storage unit somewhere. Some that I couldn't part with, but most of them I got rid of because I don't even have a cassette recorder or player anymore. Actually, I might have a cassette player somewhere. I don't know. I'd have to look. I'm dating myself right now, but I'm 61. I'll tell anybody. I don't have a problem with my age because it beats the alternative, which is dead. Tried that, didn't want to stay. So music that centers me today, I'll think about that a little bit. I like a lot of music. Pretty flexible in my music and what I like to listen to. Mostly it's a timing thing for me more than a genre I do or do not like. Like one of my bones of contention with my ex-husband and I was he liked to play jazz music and the blues when cleaning the house or doing projects around the house. And to me, that was relaxation. Go out, enjoy, not party necessarily, but enjoy yourself, relax music. So it had the exact opposite effect on me that I want when I'm cleaning or doing a project. I want to be energized and excited. So I like upbeat, happy, rock, poppy, fast-paced music when I'm cleaning, and he likes just the opposite. Should have been an indicator right there, right? Anyway, we have to do what's right for us and what works for us. So affirmations, 3 versions of affirmations, love that tool. Still one of my favorite. Been playing with that a lot this year, and well, it started last year, but this year especially. I take habits or processes and things that I do, and I add them to other routines and things I do to make them a habit. So secretly, I do affirmations every morning automatically when I brush my teeth. I do affirmations, and I do all 3 forms of the affirmations. I used to do just affirmations, I am type statements, or I want, I have, I am creating it, or I have created. Not I am creating means I'm creating it all the time and it's not happening yet in my life. So we have to even be careful with our way we word things. And we'll do the best we can, and then we'll realize that we need to continually improve our affirmations, just like anything else over time. As we change and become, our affirmations and the things we say and how we talk to ourselves and what we feed our brain and mind has to change as well. I didn't even talk about any of that. Maybe mental soap could have been what type, garbage in, garbage out. If we're putting garbage in our brain and in our mind and in our thinking, it can actually turn off our ability to think for ourselves. So we have to be careful what we're feeding our brain, what we're listening to, what we're reading, what we're hearing, what we're paying attention to. It's very important. So that's what's going on today. Granddaughter's going to be here any minute, so I'm going to sign off. And I hope she's feeling better, because that means that this cold and throat and yuckiness won't last very long. If I can help you in any way, ask. If you're in that position where you don't think you know what to do next and that you're stuck, please ask me if you don't have anyone else to ask, because there's no reason for us to be stuck. I want to make sure that you're continuing to make progress toward the things that you want, and I want to be that resource. If you don't have someone to ask, ask. Otherwise, go out and make it an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.